Hello, I am finally back. Um, I'm gonna do a build. I've decided to switch up what all my videos are. There's no more gameplay just because I was really motivated to do gameplay, but not as motivated to make the videos. And more people watch the speed build videos than they do the gameplay videos. So I'm just, giving the people what they want. And it lets me play the game whenever I want to, and I don't have to worry about editing a video. This is me building the next house in my Decades Challenge. I'm building a 1920s house. My family is still on 1910s. The rules for 1910 is all the previous rules from before, but 1910s is male children go off to war. At adulthood, you could feed them to the cow plant or whatever. I made like an army barracks, or no, I downloaded an army barracks, and I fed some of them. One died. I've never had a sim die by being eaten by a cow plant before, but turns out it actually works. The male children have to take a sort of negative-ish trait once they're a young adult. Because it's assumed that in the war years they would have suffered a trauma. Gloomy, hot-headed, clumsy, insane, lazy, squeamish, mean, non-committal. Luckily, that was a sim of mine that died, so I can keep going on with the generations. They can't work until they're an adult because they're away at war. I can have carpets now, painted walls. The jobs that are available are business, culinary, entertainer, and painter. I decided that because this blog is from 2015, that maybe some of the jobs weren't yet out in packs, so I decided that they could have the military career. And then transitioning to 1920s will be the women's right generation, so women can inherit, which is good because there's like not all the men are dying. And women can be painters and musicians, the careers. I was having them sell things at Henford that they were making before. But once they have children, they can't be working anymore. You can also have your sim be a criminal and do like the mob, like the boss branch. So isn't there like mob boss? Or you can do the culinary mixologist branch, and then you're technically a bootlegger, which I think is pretty fun. But we're going to do a 1920s mansion, which is just honestly hilarious to me, because it would have only cost $5,000. And yeah, so it was a Sears home, which is like the original version of a modular home. I don't know that that really changes how much it would have cost, but all right, so I took a second to kind of stare at what I was making, and I had started with a base and then inserted the stairs, which are always kind of a problem for me. Getting the interpretation of the layout for this house kind of challenged me this time around. I did a lot of referring back to the schematics that I had found online and a lot of playing. I initially thought that the stairs were curved, which I later discovered was because on the second floor there must have been like a weird landing to go up to the second floor. So maybe the ceiling, because the ceilings were so high. So, those stairs that go up and then there's more stairs that come that way. It must have been what had happened at some point. But it was I'm not an architect. I only took tech ed in 8th grade. So I know what doors and windows and stairs look like, but I don't know the actual ins and outs. So I'm building the bedrooms, and each of the bedrooms had a dressing room. And figuring out the sizing for what I wanted was difficult because of how things work in The Sims and the way the schematics were. Up in the top right is a sleeping porch, which there's where I discovered the stairs were not good. A sleeping porch was a screened-in room for when it was too hot. You could sleep outside. But only that back bedroom has the sleeping porch, so I don't know if everyone would have gone out there together, or if that makes that technically the master bedroom. There was what seemed to be like a servant's quarters in the back, which is what those stairs exclusively went to. So that's pretty cool. My grandfather's house has stairs that come up from the kitchen and go to like the back half of what the bedrooms would have been, and then the front stairs go to the front half bedrooms. So it could just be a way of saving space before they had too many halls. Building the platforms and the foundation is old hat for me, so that part worked out. Here at the front stairs, trying to center them and make sure that I wasn't counting that sunroom was interesting. This is me trying to build bricks. There's brick like platforms that were on the sides, and because I didn't build it when I raised everything else up, it was creating an entirely different platform. And instead of just starting over, not starting over, but fixing it, I just was like, whatever, railings. That is a beautiful little carport thing that I cannot wait to add landscaping details to. There's a balcony there. There's a deck over on the left. There's a deck on top of the sunroom, I guess. A little dormer, which I changed the roof to match because that was the coloring that I liked, because I'd picked blue on the columns. There's a completely useless fake balcony, so I just did that. I tried to put one on the roof to give the flat roof part, but that wasn't working out without flattening the roof. This is where I learned not all columns can just infinitely grow. So I had to use the specific columns, which they ended up matching the design better. I got to play with freezes a lot in this build, which is not something I typically do just because I don't typically add extras. I learned the difference between freezes and nope, can't think of what it's called. Vinyl siding. I tried to center the door. I needed to find one that looked great. Windows were a problem. I played around. I finally figured out how to get myself back to the Sims 3 camera so I could be straight on at this view. Surprisingly, none of the Sims being randomly there got in the way, but if you look through the window, you can see the dad Sim is in there. I gave in and put move objects on to put those little window things. I decided that I hated them, but as you will see, I never removed them. I made a big stink about hating it. That is my favorite. Those windows worked out so perfectly to make that exact perfect room. It is the highlight of the build, is the solarium there. Made a little quick changes just because I needed the door centered. I couldn't have the balcony and the friezes, and maybe they're not the friezes, maybe they're called something else, and that they're called the word that I can't remember. Had to play around with the windows to get them how I wanted them. It was beautiful in the front, and then I decided to go do the back. Which I don't know if any of you come across, but the back never is as impressive as the front. There is a little porch that comes off of the kitchen, and I don't know if it's supposed to be like a breakfast porch or if it's just the way the service entrance. This is a 1920s home, so when I say service, it's any like servant. Like if you were rich, you would have had butlers and maids, and that's where they would have come in. And then this is where my game crashed. Thank you for watching.